Action SA is about to announce its mayoral candidate for Ekurhuleni this morning as the 2026 local government election campaign heats up across Gauteng. The party says their candidate is ready to take on lawlessness and corruption head-on and is committed to bringing reliable basic services back to all communities in the metro. Let's now listen in.
Fellow South Africans, residents of Ekurhuleni, patriots of our country. 5 years ago, in the darkest days of COVID, our nation was gripped by fear, hopelessness, and despair. We made a decision. Out of the People's Dialogue, where more than 1.5 million South Africans raised their voices, we decided to build a movement to fix South Africa. That movement is Action SA, which is the only party for all South Africans. And I want to repeat this. Let me repeat this. We started this movement, Action SA, the only movement which is there to fix and save all South Africans. The only party that speaks to every community. The only party that puts South Africa first. Action SA's values are not abstract ideals. They are the foundation of the progress we have already begun to deliver. And we continue to deliver our determination to build a South Africa that works for all. Let me be clear, our names and values are a call to action. A call to every South African who is tired of empty promises and failed politicians. A call to every South African who still believes in this beautiful country of ours. A call to every South African who refuses to give up on the dream of a better life. Because, let us be honest, the promise of South Africa has not yet been fulfilled. We love our country, but we hate what politicians have done to it. For far too long, our cities and towns and villages have been ruled by thieves, liars, and failed career politicians. They steal, and they steal without shame. They steal without consequences. They steal to live in luxury while you live in despair. But I say to you today, we are not powerless. We are the silent majority. The unseen, the ignored. Those who may have decided no longer to even bother to vote. For far too long, we have been silent while radicals, racists, and thieves pretended to speak for us. No more. Our voices are rising. Our power is awakening. And when good people of this country work together, there is nothing more powerful on earth. We know our weapon. Our weapon is our vote. The same weapon for the rich and the same weapon for the poor. The same weapon for black, colored, white, and Indian. The same weapon for you, and the same weapon for me. And we must use it unapologetically to do one thing: remove the corrupt, and replace them with leaders who will serve the people of our country, South Africa. That is why we begin this campaign here in Ekurhuleni in Tembisa, because Ekurhuleni has been betrayed. Betrayed by politicians who stuffed their pockets with service delivery when service delivery collapsed, while crime and lawlessness go unchallenged. We have much work to do to fix the city of Ekurhuleni, so that when you open the tap, there must be clean water. When you put your rubbish out, it must be collected. When you walk at night, the street lights must work. When you drive, the roads must not be filled with potholes. When you go to a clinic, you must get quality care. When your children go to school, or play in your neighborhood, they are protected from drug syndicates and criminals. That is the basics of service delivery. That is the job of government. There is an old saying, it does not matter whether the cat is black or white, as long as it catches the mice. That is why the only ism, actually they say cares about, is service deliverism. And don't let anyone, and please, don't let anyone tell you it cannot be done, or that there's no use in using your weapon, which is your vote. We have shown what Action Aid does when it gets to work fixing our country. During my 3 years as executive mayor of the city of Johannesburg, the city was on a clear path to recovery. Yet, deliberate sabotage by dark forces brought down the multi-party government I was leading. Let me tell you something. In just 12 months, as Dr. Nasipi Moyes indicated, under her leadership, we have begun turning around our capital city, the city of Tshwane. Just last month, Tshwane secured 16 billion rands in new investment, bringing new opportunities and more jobs. In the last quarter alone, Tshwane created more jobs than Cape Town, Johannesburg, and Ekurhuleni combined. Tens of thousands of street lights have been repaired, and over 1,000 new metro officers deployed, making our streets safer. Corrupt officials have been removed, ensuring less theft and more service delivery. And something deeply personal to me, for the first time in decades, clean water is now flowing in Amanskral, the community where I was born and grew up. Services are now being provided to all communities. That is what happens when you put patriots in charge instead of thieves. Now imagine what we could do with 5 full years in cities and towns across the country. This is why the failed all parties fear us. They fear us. They call us small. But if we are so small, why do they spend millions attacking us on radio, on television, on social media platforms with lies and propaganda? I'll tell you why. Because they are scared. They are scared of you, the voter. They are scared of your power. They are scared of your weapon, which is your vote. Scared that if you take your weapon to the ballot box and remove them once and for all, and now, Ekurhuleni, your time has come. Today, people of Ekurhuleni, I present to you a leader who will fight for you. A son of the soil, a man of the people, a leader who has walked the streets with you, who has fought crime with you, who will now take the fight into the halls of power and clean out the road. A leader who will end corruption in our city. A leader who will restore dignity to the forgotten communities in our city. Someone who will deliver services for all residents of Ekurhuleni. Someone who will give Ekurhuleni the fresh start it deserves. A leader who will fix the city. Fellow South Africans, it is my honor to present to you the next mayor of Ekurhuleni. Ladies and gentlemen, give me an opportunity to present to you Mr. Xolani Khumalo.
Sanibonani. Ninjani. My way of speaking I found nearby. Ngifuna ukuzazisa kuqala. Yeah, I think this one is good. Before I start, I want to greet everyone. Sanibonani futhi. Abangazi igama lami Xolani Khumalo umuntu ngombulazi unjekazi ngizozithatha bese ningibani. Ngithanda ukubingelela umphakathi wonke was Ekurhuleni. But there's something that I've always wanted to do. Bengicela ifamily yami isukume niyibone. Ngiyahlala phansi. Leadership of Action SA, provincially, nationally, the Senate, Spectre Song. That's my family. I have an army. I have a serious army of family. So namhlanje sizokhuluma into ebalekile engamela umphakathi waseKurhuleni. Residents of Ekurhuleni, this morning I'm truly privileged to stand before you today. Not only I'm proud to be here with you, surrounded by patriots who love this country, but I'm also honored to take up this fight on behalf of Action SA. Especially la Ekurhuleni. Many of you know me from Sizok'thola, where my crew and I, were fighting the drug syndicate. But today, as we are known to be people that are fighting the drug syndicate that are destroying our communities. But today, we want to fight a different fight. In the streets, fighting the crime. But staring criminals in the eye. I've chased drug dealers through the night. I took on this fight to protect South Africa's most vulnerable. But because I cannot stand by while criminal syndicates do as they please in this country. And because of this fight, I have become the target now myself. The same drug cartels that exploit our broken justice system. But I would do this again and again, as long as it means to protect our community. But this is the same fight. This is the same fight that brings me here at Tembisa today, where I grew up, where I went to school, where I played in these streets. But I come back today for a different fight. This time, it is to end the rot that has crippled South Africa's industrial heartland, which is Ekurhuleni. I want to know very well that Ekurhuleni is the industrial heart of Gauteng. But the rot and corruption has crippled us. So Sizok'thola. As dangerous as drug dealers and gangsters are, the greatest criminals are not hiding in shadows.
TV presenter Xolani Khumalo has been announced as the Action SA's Ekurhuleni mayoral candidate, throwing the venue into a chance of ululation and excitement. We heard earlier on Action SA leader Herman Mashaba just reflecting on the gains the party has achieved, including, he says, removal of corrupt officers, the installation of street lights, water coming out of taps, and in fact, he says, Tshwane has achieved more than Cape Town and other municipalities. But for more on this story, we joined via video link by esteemed political analyst Sandile Swana. Mr. Swana, a very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Action SA has officially announced TV presenter Xolani Khumalo, with no known credentials and political background, as it were, as the mayoral candidate for Ekurhuleni as the 2026 local government elections approach. How significant is this move in the broader political landscape of Gauteng, especially in a metro that has traditionally been a battleground for the ANC and the DA?
Oh, thank you so much. The significance of this lies in the statements made by Mashaba himself, that it doesn't matter whether the cat is white or black, as long as it catches the mice. That Action SA is not driven by lofty speeches and complex political isms and ideologies, but by concrete action on the ground. The young man has demonstrated his capacity for robust action on the ground, chasing down criminals. I think it's an understatement to just call him a TV presenter. Our understanding is that he's been able to confront criminals in their terrains of operation, in situations of life and death. So he is a man of action, and his selection coincides with the outlook of Action SA to be a hands-on, action-oriented type of mayor.
I mean, with campaigns heating up across the province, to what extent does the timing of this particular announcement signal Action SA's readiness to, to challenge the established political order?
Yes, the established political order, we need to be clear. We're talking about the long-term dominance of the African National Congress and the DA in the politics of Gauteng. This announcement and the terminology is correct because, I was driving there a few days ago in the Springs, Benoni areas and all those areas. You can see the gray look of that industrial area. That is the industrial engine of South Africa. That has been suppressed by the Congress for quite some time now. And with the economic achievements in Tshwane by Action SA, we are quite hopeful that that industrial heartland that we've known since the 70s will come back to life. To me, this is a clear, direct challenge launched in the township of Tembisa, where the bulk of the votes lie. I think strategically they are taking the battle to the two veterans, the DA and the AIDS.
Yeah, and the party says its candidate is ready to take on lawlessness and corruption and is committed to restoring reliable basic services. We heard earlier on Mashaba just outlining some of the gains in terms of service delivery. But from your analysis, just how credible is this messaging? I mean, given the realities of local government politics and service delivery challenges in Ekurhuleni?
The challenges in our local government are not as big as the ANC has made them to be. The impediment to any town in South Africa that is under ANC rule and is underperforming, the actual challenge has been to allow criminal syndicates to control these towns. And Khumalo here is actually the right man to, just by resolving the crime syndicates, he will absorb 75% of the problem. And he's quite well qualified to do it.
Now, Mr. Swana, let's talk about how important the personal profile of the mayoral candidate versus the party's brand in winning over voters in a metro like Ekurhuleni.
The profile here that is being presented with Action SA, there is a coincidence that it will want an action-oriented mayor with a proven track record of getting things done on the ground. They've got that. Action SA is one of the major, in fact, probably the most prominent anti-corruption political party in South Africa right now. Given that there is a GNU, so those who are in the GNU are together, can start corruption. So that idea of choosing a person who is rooted in Tembisa, rooted in Ekurhuleni, is indigenous to the terrain. So those things need to line up. When they see him, they see a homeboy, they see a responsible citizen, an upright and leading citizen of the city. That is the type of candidate we need to start looking for.
Now, in metros plagued by governance and service delivery issues, just how much of Action SA's appeal, could hinge on presenting itself as a clean alternative to the ANC and the DA?
Action SA has built a brand in Johannesburg. I think many analysts will agree with that. Whether it was an accident of history, however it came about, when Mashaba became mayor of Johannesburg, and a successful one at that was a huge capital, political capital that they've built. It has given them the credit, the credential of a party of delivery. They've done something similar in Tshwane, and now they are transferring that model to Ekurhuleni. They are credible, even their colleagues, whether those colleagues in the coalition with the ANC, EFF and others, they've got no qualms with the performance, the actual physical performance of Action SA. I think they've got that credential.
Well, Gauteng voters are increasingly disillusioned with service delivery and corruption. I mean, how do you see Action SA positioning itself to capture this voter sentiment, particularly amongst the middle-class voters and communities that at this point still feel marginalized?
What we are going to find is that Action SA is going to profile the mayor that they have in Tshwane and the successes that she has in Tshwane, to say in your town, they are going to have a small list of towns that they are going to be contesting, to say in your town you can get a few billion rands of investment every quarter if you put us in. You can get your potholes sealed. You can get those corrupt officials physically removed out of office, and you can go to the municipal offices and get proper services without being asked for a bribe, protection fees, and all sorts of things, that extortion and all these things that go on at the present moment. So you are going to see for the next 13, 14 months a very big profiling of the successes of Mayor Moyo in the city of Tshwane, backing up people like Khumalo and others who will be their candidates. It's going to be a party of delivery.
I mean, it suffices to mention that Ekurhuleni is quite diverse with urban, peri-urban and township populations. Let's talk about what strategies the party will need to adopt, to address the varying priorities and the grievances across these communities.
The key grievance that has not been attended to successfully in the past 31 years is unemployment. Mm-hmm. I taught municipal finance for 14 years at FITS. So I can tell you that in the vast majority of the municipalities, the section of the municipalities that is totally dysfunctional is the local economic development section. So when you listened already to Mayor Moya, she is already telling you that in a short space of time they've received 16 billion rands worth of investment that is queuing to open up in Tshwane. So that is when people are hungry, unemployed, and the economic section of their lives is not working, there's nothing else you can do. The second one, as Gulam Balim has correctly put, the chief economist at Standard Bank has correctly pointed out and measured, that actually your GDP growth rate, 75% of it comes from good governance and rule of law. In other words, get rid of the syndicates. So whether they knew it or not, what they've said in this presentation is actually exactly what they need to do. 75% of your success will come from getting rid of the syndicates, the criminal syndicates, the corrupt employees and officials and managers in the municipality, and their business partners outside, and their business partners in the metropolis and in the local police stations. That will give you, it will be like injecting oxygen, flooding Ekurhuleni with oxygen. Then that goes into the cleansing of the city, the safety of the city. The townships must be clean, must be safe, must not just get stepped at random.
All right, Mr. Swana, great chatting to you. Thank you so much for sharing your analysis with us. We do appreciate your time.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, that was political analyst Sandile Swana on Action SA's announcement of TV presenter Xolani Khumalo as their mayoral candidate for Ekurhuleni. I suppose a move that clearly energized the party faithful at the launch. And we also heard earlier from Herman Mashaba reflecting on what he says are tangible achievements under Action SA's leadership, from rooting out corruption to improving basic services like street lights and water supply, claiming that Tshwane is setting a benchmark even beyond Cape Town and other municipalities.
Something as part of shop. So we say pothole. We won't allow that. We must create jobs. We must create opportunities for our people. I will drive the establishment of township enterprise hubs that will grow our local business and spaza shops. I will cut the red tape that keeps investors away and make this city efficient again. We will build a local economy that puts South Africans first. We must restore dignity to our families by upgrading informal settlement, starting with light for safety. Clean water, sanitation. Those are things that are necessary that we need as humans that are living in our society. Those are the things that are going to happen. These are not dreams. These are things that are going to happen. We must build houses, transfer title deeds without corruption. Maybe your mobile and it will end. And revive our clinics, libraries, parks, sports facilities. Those things must be revived, where families can thrive again. We must ensure access to quality health care. We cannot be having substandard hospitals because people have taken the money to fund their lifestyles, wearing expensive clothes, looting healthcare money. That thing is destroying people's lives. You want to see people dead if you do that. So we have to restore that. That means all the clinics will stay open longer, and they will have enough nurses and doctors. And the medication is going to be properly stocked. There will be enough medication. No resident should have to beg for a treatment. No mother should have to choose between paying for food or paying for medicine. Those things are the necessities that we need as human beings living in this world. We must get Ekurhuleni moving again. That means fixing potholes, upgrading aging road infrastructure, tackling congestions. We need to tackle it head on. It means restoring reliable, affordable public transport so that our people can go to and from work. And finally, we must build a city that listens, a city that serves. When you speak, your leaders must listen. When you raise a complaint, it must be answered. Leadership is not about power. It is about service and fighting. You have to fight for the better of your residents. That's leadership. This fight is more than politics. It's about our dignity. It's about our children's future. We cannot and we will not allow failed politicians to destroy our communities any longer. So your weapon in this fight, when you go to war, there are people that with hand grenades, there are people with guns and stuff like that. Your weapon as a citizen in this city, it's your vote. Your weapon is your vote. With your vote, we will remove the criminals in government and replace them with the patriots who will serve you, not themselves. This city, we will fix together. Criminals will fear the law, and the law will protect.
Action SA's Ekurhuleni mayoral candidate Xolani Khumalo taking to the stage and professing to bust corruption and bring back the dignity of the people of Ekurhuleni. Well, he's still on stage in his acceptance speech shortly after he was announced as the Action SA's mayoral candidate for Ekurhuleni.